Hi everybody, we are going to have a Bible study from Luke 15 verse 11 to 31 is about the parable of the lost son. We also call the prodigal son. So let's go for it. And Jesus is telling the story, okay? There was a man who had two sons. The younger one said to his father, so I think the younger one was a little bit rebel, I would say. We are in verse 12. Father, give me my share of the estate. So he divided his property between them. All right. So he asked his father to give him what? Yes, you're right. The share of the estate, which means the wealth from the wealth that after the father dies, it shares between the boys, his sons. But the younger son had the, I'll say in quotation, brighter idea to ask for his share before his father passed away. Wow, that's pretty bad, guys. But guess what? This is a very wise man. And sometimes it says that he was a younger, and we don't know how old he was. I assume he was an adult, but a young adult, okay? His father has lots of wisdom. He could start arguing with him and get in the fight, get in other things, no, I'm not going to give it to you. Why should I give it? I didn't die yet, and all that. But the father is very wise. So what he did, he divided his property between them. And so he gave him the part that it was his share after the father passed away. So give it to him. Why? Why a father would do such thing? Because no matter what he will do, he can, if he had in his mind to go and have the money and go, he's not able to keep him back and hold him back. Sometimes with, like especially this case, you have to let them have the experience. If they don't have the experience, they don't know what's out there, how nice they're treated in the house, how much they have, till they feel it on their own skin. So the father will say, okay, you think you're going to have something better among the strangers? Okay. He didn't say actually nothing. He didn't say, the Bible doesn't say that he say anything. But in his mind, like, okay, let him feel, let him experience something he never experienced. And hopefully, he will change around. So he never fussed with it and never say nothing. He just gave him the money. And so not long, we are on verse 13 here. Not long after that, the younger son got together all he had, set off for a distant country, and there squandered his wealth in wild living. All right. So not because he already had in his mind what he's going to do. He want to go somewhere else and spend the money the way he wanna, to live like he's saying in wild living. Now he went to a distant country. He didn't know who he was, and those people were not his friends. Those people, when you go on the different area out of I would say this is more portrayed like the Father in heaven. It's how I see it. And the son could be any of us. And going out from God's area, you encounter the dark side. Those are so happy to have you, to engulf you, to have you for good if they can, but even temporary. And if you go out of the Father's side, and this is like God, portraying God here, things will not go well. God always, to be around Him, God will always keep an eye on you, always is with you. But when you decided to take off away from God and live a wild life, while living is spending money. Who knows what he spent on money? It doesn't say here. Gambling, for example. Going gambling, drinking alcohol. I don't know, something. What is more expensive? Going with women, and he thought, wow, now I'm living my life. But he didn't know that would come short. That will not last for too long, because those people that are not with God, they are trick him, get his money in any way, in other ways, Verse 14, after he had spent everything, but I think he had a lot. There was a severe famine in that whole country, and he began to be in need. Why? Because if you have the money, as says everybody, you're a stranger there, and everybody is wanting to get the money out of you and offer services and all that, and he fell for it. It was a younger son. He never says those kind of experiences before, and he fell for any kinds of tricks. Also, it's gambling. They trick him for that. Sometimes they share under the table those things. I don't know, cards and all, whenever, and not just that. In that country, it was a severe famine in the whole country, and began to be in need. He never been in need in his father's house. Never. He never knew how it's to be in need. He always had. He never knew. But now it's like, and he didn't earn those money working, He had those money because the father gave it to him because he asked. Verse 15, he began to be in need. Now it's the first time he experienced in his life that he is in need. So he went, verse 15, so he went and hired himself out to a citizen of that country, who sent him to his fields to feed pigs. All right. As we know, Jewish don't just like I'm just portraying more like a maybe not a Jewish family, but Jewish, they don't eat pigs. And in the area, probably they didn't have pigs. Or maybe they did, but the Father, is how I see, like the Father in heaven. And pigs are the very dirty animals. As from my experiences, they get themselves in the dirt, it's in Jewish, it's forbidden to eat pigs. First, they have lots and lots of cholesterol outside under the fat, and also inside the meat. Lots of cholesterol. You eat a little bit of that, and then your cholesterol will jump up. Verse 16, he longed to fill his stomach with the pods that the pigs were eating, but no one gave him anything. So he's a servant, pretty much. He's working there because he doesn't have money. And imagine that if you keep spending the money and you do nothing to put them back, you know, at one point the money will vanish because you keep taking. And at one point, there's nothing that you put in, nothing you can take. At one point, they will be empty. And he was so hungry. Imagine those pigs. They are dirty. They get themselves mad and all that, and they go and eat. And he is so hungry that he want to eat from the pigs' it says pods. Wow. Ooh, just thinking about that. It's not delicious, of course, but there's kind of food. I'm not sure what they fed the pigs in that time. And it's nothing delicious, to be honest with you. Sometimes remaining of the things, you know, from the from food, from the table, or from, you know, like just I would say sometimes like apples that fell from the trees and all that. Depends who's feeding them and what they feed them. They can feed them anything. Pigs, they just pretty much eat anything. But nobody would give him neither that from the pigs. And he was so hungry he could put his head in the paws there and eat with the pigs together. Wow. It's where he fell down so big. Verse 17. This is when just say the young adults, they don't listen to their parents. They don't listen to instructions of the parents and all that. And they're not just, you know, they go far away from them. They think that they can do in their own. And not just that, they could, if he would be in the same country, in the same area, he could ask, can you give me a part of it? I want to invest. I want to learn how to invest. I want to learn how to work business. I want to do this, you know. Would be more proud the father about him, but he spent the money in the Bible doesn't say, but it says the wild way is being in the bad way he spent, and he's not proud of that. 17, when he came to his senses, wow. Did you hear that, guys? When he came to his senses, so it was a turnaround. He was so hungry. It goes day by like that. There's nowhere till he gets paid, and he gets little money and attending the pigs in the field, which is dirt and all that. And then at one point he came to his senses. I wish all those young or teenagers, or, you know, when they come out of school, they don't want to finish the school, or they go all astray. They go out from their parents' side, and they want to do other things than to be in the righteous way. They want to do in the unrighteous way. I wish all those will come to their senses. This specific one he did. When he came to his senses, he said, how many of my father's hired servants have food to spare, and here I am starving to death? Wow. All right. He knows the father, even he feeds the servants, has so plenty, because the father has a big heart to feed the servants. He has so much. And then he's starving to death, because he's in need, he's in want, and so his pride at this point gets lower. Nobody knows who he is. He pays little money, he gets little money, but he needs to, you know, shelter, food, you know, it is a lot to take care of it by himself. And probably this time would be like insurance, car, food, rent, you know, and nothing comes like easy. So And he says, even like my servants in my father's house are doing better than I'm doing, is what he was saying. Verse 18, I will set out and go back to my father and say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. Wow. The pride fell off completely, guys. He has no pride whatsoever. Instead, he got humble and he recognized that he had sinned against his father, asking to give him, like even before even the father didn't die, he asked for the money and he spent them all in the bad way. And so that's a sin. And he will say, and then he sinned against heaven and against the Father. He sinned against heaven. It's how bad he was. He did. And he says, verse 19, I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants. Wow. Now he's very humble now. He's very humble. I'm telling you, this father is very, very wise man. So he got up and went to his father. So in the process of taking money that he didn't work, and he thought he should have it, that he should be his, and the father was rich. He had servants, and the servants were very filled up, like had big tables of food. So he was a rich man, we can tell. Could be a businessman, we don't know, it doesn't say the story. He was a very rich man. He had those kids, those two boys, they have everything what they needed or wanted. But in the process of going astray in a different country and serving other people, their pigs and all that, he was starving, and he learned that how hard it is to earn money and how fast he spent the father's money so fast in the short time. So he learned the value of the money, and he recognized what he did was not right. And then he wanted to go back home to ask the father to consider him one of the servants, and then at least to have food and serve as a servant to his father's house. Wow, guys, this is big. So there's no pride whatsoever. He's humble. His thinking, his mind came all together as well. When his character changed, he's changing more like a character of God. But the father portrays more like the father in this story. He's more like God, is how he portrays this story. And Jesus is telling the story. And guess what? In the meantime, what the father was doing all this time, the time passed. It was probably, I don't know how long he passed, how many months, and we don't know. The story doesn't say. The father was looking out on the street for him every single day, maybe 3 times a day, maybe several times. As soon as he went again and looked at the street, and went again, look at the street. The father was waiting on him. The father was praying for the son to turn back, to come to his senses, and I think those prayers were answered. Oh, wow. Guys, never stop praying for your children, no matter how bad they are or for where you are, because the prayer will get answered. Look at this story. Let's keep going. But we are in verse 21. We are in verse 20. Just 20. So he got up and went to his father. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him. Because why, guys? Because the father is God. He's always waiting on us. He will not go after you like that. if you do rebel and go against and you run away, he's waiting on you. He is waiting on you. And if you have a parent, you're waiting on those children to come back. You are waiting. You can't find them. You don't even know where they are if they run away. But you are waiting on them. It's what this Father does. This is Father God. Wow. It was far away still when the Father saw him and was filled with compassion for him like God does with us. He ran. The Father ran to his Son, threw his arms around him and kissed him. Wow. It's like, That's the Father's heart, guys, here. Sorry. That's the Father's heart. He sees us from far away, that we turn back to him and he runs to us. You make one step towards him. He makes 10. He makes 100 steps. Not just that, he runs to his Son and embrace him, throw his arms around his Son and kissed him. He missed him so much. 21. The Son said to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. Look what the Father said. But the Father said to his servants, quick, bring the best robe and put it on him. The Father didn't answer that, but the answer is in his actions. When the Son said that, and he knew when he turned around, he came back home, he was a changed person. And when the Son said that he's not worthy to be called his son, he knew he came with the brokenness. He's broken inside, broken down. He's humble, meek. He came like almost, like didn't bow his to his Father and all that. The story doesn't say, but he is so, I would say, start having the character of his father, like I said, it's like character of God. Through that experience, this experience changed him a lot. And, but the Father, he's asking the servants, he doesn't answer that. He's asking the servants to bring the best robe. The robe in God's kingdom is mantles, guys. It's mantles. He want to put a mantle because now he was changing all that process, going away, and then he learned the value of the money. He learned like what he had and what he did, and all that experience got him humble. Now he's good to lead the Father's business. Now he can get in the Father's business. So that's a mantle. And put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Ring is the signet ring that comes that gives you authority to sign anything, like in that time to sign things. And they put the seal, the letter, they put some wax and they put with the ring on it. That's the ring they're talking about here. It's a signet ring that he has authority over the Father business because now he became the man the Father hoped he would be. And probably was spoiled, he had everything he needed, but now he's transformed, he's good. When he said those words to his Father, the Father knows he is ready for a step up. And he gives him the sandals, he dress him up. And not just that, what he says, we are on verse 23, bring the fattened calf and kill it. Let's have a feast and celebrate. For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was dead in his sins, guys. It's what he's trying to say. It's like turning away from the sin, from everything what he did and was wrong. and now he's alive. He came to God. He came back to God, as to the Father. He was lost and is found. So they began to celebrate. Wow. So the Father is happy that the Son is back and put the best robes and all that. As is that was signifying like it's this God. It's what we are with God. Sometimes we have all what we need, but we want to try the darker side. How is there? But guys, it doesn't work. Without God, nothing is better. I'm telling you. This is the story that tells. Meanwhile, the older son was in the field. When he came near the house, that way on verse 25, he heard the music and dancing, because they cut the fattened calf. Also, fattened calf is when you put the altar, and they used to bring that, like make a covenant in the old time, and they put for their sins as well. They will cut the fattened calf, and they bring in old time like to the priest, and for the sins of of the family, of them, So it's more like saying like, okay, we're cutting that. Your sins are forgiven. I forgive you. And then from the meat and all that, they celebrate, because everything, whenever was lost, is found and is good now. And not just good, is better than good, because he got transformed in change in the meantime. Meanwhile, the older son was in the field. When he came near the house, he heard music and dancing. Verse 26. So he called one of the servants and asked him what was going on. Your brother, and that's the servant answered, your brother has come, he replied, and your father has killed a fattened calf, because he has him back and safe and sound. Now, in the meantime, when the father was looking daily, several times a day, at the street where the son could come, he grew in jealousy. The older brother grew in jealousy, and saw how much the father loved him. But when we have 2 kids, I just say you have 10. They're all hurt if they leave. You are hurt. You are hurt. It hurts the same, But he didn't understand that part. And he saw the father, how much love he has for his brother, and he grew in jealousy. And at that point. And then now it's like, what is going on? The father's been sad for so long, and all of a sudden is the celebration. What is going on? And it says, and then the servant says like they killed the best of the best, and they celebrate. What it says in verse 28, 28, 28, yes. The older brother became angry and refused to go in. Wow. He was angry. Now, why you would do such thing? He spent the money, he did that. But the brother doesn't know that the younger brother got changed, and is what the father was looking, and he was happy for that he became a changed person. So was the father to go after him, went out and pleaded with him, but he answered his father. He was angry, and he answered in anger to his father, look, all these years I've been slaving for you. Wow. That's a bad word. I mean, not like I'm saying like a bad word, that's a bad way of saying slaving, like I'm like your slave. They have servants. But he says in angriness, and never disobeyed your orders. We are like us, guys. You know what? When you see somebody God blesses, somebody like your friend, other families, and you're still there, you're still, in the same position, the same job, the same thing, the same little house, or, or maybe an apartment or whenever you are, and nothing like happens, and you see God blesses other people, those people get jealous and get angry to God, like, why don't bless me? I'm slaving you and never disobey your orders. I've always been obedient, and look, I'm still here, I'm still doing this. And then he says, yet you never gave me even a young goat so I could celebrate with my friends. Okay. I'm not sure what will be the celebration there, but it's what he was angry that the father got the biggest, the fattened calf, and then he didn't have neither a young goat. Like, it means a small one, to celebrate with his friends, and he's slaving the father. Come on. But anyway, he's talking in his anger. But this is the heart of the Father we are talking about, the Father, the God, the Father. But when this son of yours who has squandered your property and with prostitutes, now he's saying exactly what he was doing. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. Comes home, you killed a fattened calf for him? Wow. He says, okay, he went and spent all the money, and now you still love him for that? And not just that, you are giving him more? And then what the father answered? My son, the father said, you are always with me. Because it's what he's always with us. We never go astray. We always be obedient, and he's always with us. And then we are always with him. And not just that, he said, and everything I have is yours. So God is telling you today that he's always with you. Don't become angry on other people growing in wealth, and they used to do bad things. Now they're all of a sudden they're growing in wealth, and you don't, because the Father is telling you, you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. Everything what God the Father has belongs to you. But we have to celebrate and be glad, because this brother of yours was dead. Well, dead in the sin, for sure. He was dead for sure, like I'm saying, spiritual death is what they refer here. Not dead like in a physical death, but in spirit. And is alive again because he came back to his senses. He was lost and is found. Yeah. So try to explain to his son, the other one, that he got lost, but now he's back home. He needs to be celebrated. He's a changed man, and is what the Father loves. Yes, people, they go astray. They go and do other things, unrighteous things. But when they come back, God will celebrate them exactly like in this story. And then even the one that never did anything wrong, they're always, and everything that God has belongs to you. So don't get angry for other people coming and returning back to God, because everything what belongs to God belongs to you. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this parable son and the lost son, and as much as I enjoy it. All right, till next time, I'll say goodbye. Goodbye now.